this business, okay? Decamillionaire. Is that pretty good? Decamillionaire. I have the book Happy and Strong. Anybody, how many of you guys read that book? Happy and Strong, okay? By the way, that's $3 million in this business, okay? We're part of her organization, just so you guys know, okay? And 4 beautiful kids. You talk about supermom, you talk about somebody who has balance, that they have their 4 kids, they make no excuses, make great money, great relationship, great marriage, great life. Totally, you talk about mental toughness. Jaime is a perfect example of mental toughness. And I remember getting started in this business and just wanting to know her, okay, and have a relationship with her. And the fact that we have her here today, I'm so grateful for her, for all her mindset. You know, we talk about no excuses. And anybody who makes excuses, you just making excuses weakens your character. I heard that first time from Jaime. That's why that's in the code of honor. Any excuses, no matter how valid the excuse is still an excuse and only weakens your character. I remember seeing Jaime. She was 9 months pregnant and she was doing this class. She was walking on stage for like 4 hours. I'm not even kidding. Everybody was sitting there like, we think she's gonna give birth right now. Okay? But she always would tell us, don't tell me about the pain, show me the baby. Okay? That's the straight code from her, okay? That's the lady that you're about to hear. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, everybody, let's stand up. Everybody stand up on your feet. I need a lot of energy, okay? Let's give a huge round of applause for our closing speaker, Jaime Villalovos.
Stand up and give a warm welcome to our closing speakers, Jaime Villalovos.
But I'm so happy to be with you guys. Like I said, I'm happy to be with the #1 team and my favorite team in all of World Financial. You guys have the best leadership with Cash and Elise, second to none. These guys are the most hardworking, just caring leaders that are servant leaders, busting their butt day in and day out for you. Do you guys appreciate them? I hope you do. And then you have such amazing leaders like Binu and Kevin. Who's on Binu's team? And Dilip and Saban. And how about Benay's team? Chris Payne. And so many new up-and-comers. So I'm so excited for how much this team has done so far. But I feel like it's just getting started. You guys agree? I feel like momentum is building and there's about to be a gigantic explosion in this team and I'm just so excited for it. So I'm happy to be here. You guys, most of you guys know who I am, I think, right? I loved working with Cash over all of these years. He's the most fun person to coach. He's very, 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 very coachable. But he's so much fun to coach because sometimes you tell someone to do something and they're like, but why? But why, right? And he's never done that. He just says, I'm not even done explaining and he's already implementing every time. And we'll be on a call and we're going through some stuff and they're like, where'd Cash go? Like, oh, he's already on a phone call implementing everything that you guys are teaching, right? So he's just at the speed of instruction, no time to waste, maniac. So give it up for your leadership. All right, so he's asked me to speak about building a business, building a legacy, building a dream life. You know, I've been in this business 27 years, and I fall more in love with it every day, every month, every year. While we were walking down the hall here to this room, someone said, you know, why are you excited? He asked me, why are you so excited about what's going on and, you know, what's going on with the company and the timing? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just so excited. It's like so much easier and faster for you guys to have what I have. Isn't everything so much faster? We're building SMDs faster and ring earners faster and even underwriting is so much faster, isn't it? Everything is so much faster. And luckily, there's a lot of people distracted right now, isn't there? Which is always a good thing for the people that are focused, like your guys' teams. So for you guys that don't know me, again, I've been here 27 years. I had no background in anything financial. Most of you guys kind of come to the same table like me. I didn't have a background in financial services. I grew up in a little town in Montana, a town of about 200 people. Like a village, kind of. A ghost town, maybe, if you will. I grew up in that little trailer, and that picture is a little trailer on the edge of town. My family was very poor. We grew up on food stamps and welfare and WIC and those things. And we always knew like there was no money for college. There was no money for even a pizza night. One of my biggest whys when I got in this business was I wanted to not have to say no to everything, to my kids. Like if they wanted to do dance or play an instrument or have a pizza night with their friends, I wanted to be able to do those things sometimes. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And so we grew up, you know, like I said, where we would go for back to school shopping at the Goodwill or the secondhand store. And I just hated being poor. I hated that, like sometimes we didn't even have money to pay the bills. I listened to my parents argue about money. Which bill can we pay? I remember one time waking up in the morning and seeing my breath. In Montana, it's freezing. It's like Alaska winds cut right through there. It's one of the coldest places on the United States. But I woke up, I saw my breath, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we can't even pay for the propane to heat the house. And I remember gathering my little sisters in the bathroom and plugging in like a little space heater and singing songs and doing their hair and hoping that I could create an environment that they weren't scared like I was all the time. And so I grew up knowing I wanted something more for my life. I wanted to be somebody. I wanted to make a difference. And I knew I couldn't do it there. No one in that little town was a big dreamer. And there wasn't even a job for a woman, let alone like any type of story or success. So I moved out after high school to California. And my goal was to get a job, pay my way through school, and do something. And be able to help my family back home in Montana. And I started working, at first having a couple jobs. Can you believe it? I worked at Blockbuster Video and the 99-cent store. That was right next to each other because it was walking distance to my house. And then I saved enough money to buy a little, horrible little car, little 89 Dodge Daytona. I bought at the used car lot that barely ran, that actually, I think it had bullet holes in the side and some weird patching job. And so, then I got a job at Valley Total Fitness, a health club. And I thought, okay, this will be a good, easy, no-brainer job while I'm going to school, while I'm trying to pay my way through school. And I started working at Bally's, and I was out working everybody. I've always been like all in with whatever I do, and I was out working everybody at 20 years old, and I was like 19 years old, and they promoted me to manager. Great experience preparing me for this business, because I was working with a lot of crazies, and people way older than me, and a lot of weirdos in the gym. But I've got a lot of life experience in a short amount of time. But at the gym, I got promoted to manager. I was making way more money than any of my friends, but I had to work 11 hours a day, 11 to 11, 6 or 7 days a week. So after 4.5 years of not once getting to go home to see my family, no vacation, working every day almost, I kind of started getting dissatisfied. I felt like no one cared, that my management didn't care, that I was wasting my life, that I wasn't making a difference. Anybody feel like that? I get up, I go to work, I go home, I go to bed, and it's like rinse and repeat every day. And just like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. And I wanted to be able to make an impact. I wanted to be able to have control of my time. I wanted to be able to put my family first. Honestly, I'm like, I am wasting my freaking life going to this place every single day. I'm not gonna even be able to meet a guy. I have, zero life, let alone worry about time with my kids. And luckily, one day a lady came into the gym. She had just had her second child, a baby, and she was trying to, lose the baby fat and work out, and I was trying to sell her a gym membership and get her on the program. And she's like, you should meet my husband. He's looking for good people. And they prospected me, invited me into, to see kind of an overview of our firm. And I fell in love. I thought, oh my gosh, what a dream business. You can make great income, highest paid industry to be in. You can help people, and my hot button, control my time. Time freedom. Not have someone have their thumb on me, tell me when I can see my kids or when I can take vacation and how much money I can make. So I was all in, but I was working 11 hours a day. I couldn't come to training. I couldn't really do a lot, so I kind of made a decision that I don't know if this is for me. Plus, I felt that people were a little hyper weird, a little bit different. My mentor was a little bit like Cash, kind of a maniac, like, let's go, non-stop to the top, right? So I was like, I don't know. But I came to an event like this, luckily. Oh my gosh, these events are so important. Never, ever, ever, ever miss a big event. But I came to a big event like this, and my mentor kind of got me a seat near the front row, and I took notes for 2 days, and I decided this business was built for me. And that I'm the next great superstar of this business. And I came in and I took 2 days of notes, just like if my life depended on it. And I went back, and I quit my job, and I went full time. That was back when you had 9 months before you could take your test. So I quit my job knowing I wasn't going to make any money for 9 months. And I cut all my expenses down. And I created a business plan and I planted my flag, you guys. I'm telling you, I planted my flag. This is where my dreams were going to come true. They're going to make it or they're going to find me dead in the office. I don't know. So, but we've come a long way. Now, you guys are part of our team. But actually, I didn't know this, but down the hall, one of my other CEOs is having a meeting, and one of my direct S&D superstars is having an event. Happened to be at the same hotel. That's crazy. So I just came from there. But we've been able to touch thousands and tens of thousands of lives and help people to completely change the trajectory of their whole family's legacy and future. My goal is to touch 100 million lives through our financial education, through building leaders like Hash, like Binu, like all of these guys, like Kate, the new superstar that's up and coming, right? All these leaders that we're bringing up, you understand when you're in this environment, not only do you get to make a bunch of money, but we teach you leadership skills. With leadership skills and money, you can go change the world. So through our philanthropy efforts and everything that we're doing in building leaders, our goal is to touch 100 million lives worldwide, and we're on our way there. So thank you guys for all that you do. I know that you're making sacrifices every day. Is there any spouses in the room? Partners? I want to personally thank you guys, because I know you're paying a price. I know it's hard sometimes when they're not there to tuck in the kids, or they're acting like, crazy, maniacs and stuff. But all of you guys out there that are chasing dreams, I just want to tell you how much Sean and I admire you and love you and appreciate you guys and all that you do. So Cash taught me to talk about 3 different things. One was that clarity of dreams and goals. And this is how I was so successful in this business. Remember, I started when I was 22 and I looked like I was 12. I didn't think anyone was going to buy from me or join me or do any of these things. So for me, I had to be very, very coachable. I had to learn all the system that the mentors were teaching it and not try to make up my own stuff. But what really made the difference was getting my true dreams and goals and keeping them in front of me every day. So I was challenged to make a list of my 10 whys. And I know that people tell you this type of stuff all the time, but I actually did it. And I made a list of 10 whys, not just retire my dad, but the retire my dad was one of the 10, and it was 3 pages long, typed. What it was gonna feel like. What he was gonna say when I told him, you don't ever have to bust your butt anymore. He's broken almost every bone in his body. His job that he did was a derrick hand, in the oil field industry, one of the worst jobs in the world. And he has arthritis. Oh, he can barely even walk. He can barely sit. He can barely lay down. It's just a mess. So for me, like, I wanted so badly to be able to be an example to my little sisters, to get them out of that stupid trailer, out of that environment. I would literally be imagining, like, so much clarity, like my sister, my 9-year-old sister, digging through the couch cushions to find change, to find quarters, to go buy milk for the twin babies. I'm the oldest of 6 kids. And I wanted to make sure that they never had to worry about that type of stuff and ever again. So you have to have a vision. Number one of what do you want? What do you want? And Stephen Covey always said vision is being able to see clearly the end in mind and then every day taking action with that in mind. So every day I could literally close my eyes and almost like pushing play on a movie, I could visualize the day I retire my dad, the day that I moved my sisters out of that nasty broke down trailer, all these things that I wanted, the things I wanted for my kids, for my marriage, I could visualize it every day. I became a professional imaginer, a visionary. And every day I would begin with that end in mind. It wasn't a matter of if I was going to make that happen, it was when. And I wanted when to be sooner than later. So every day they say, well, Jamie, how many calls did you make? How many appointments did you do? As many as I could every day. It wasn't 10 calls a day or 50 calls a day. I was like, how many can I get done between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. so I can move that day, my vision, closer to today and get them out of there. The only real motivation comes from within. You understand that? So you could come to these events and Cash could speak, or he could bring Tony Robbins up here and y'all could be jumping up and down for 4 days straight, and you're going to leave, and eventually that feeling's going to wear off, isn't it? Motivation comes from within, so you have to be in charge of lighting your own fire under your own ass. You understand? So you got to write your dreams, your goals with perfect clarity. Me, my 22-year-old self, I didn't have big dreams. I didn't have big vision. Thank God I invested. This is what champions do. This is what the 1% does. They invest in figuring out what drives them, what makes them emotional, what makes them pissed off, what makes them get up no matter what. You do, that's the habits, the daily routine, the daily things that need to get done because you want it so bad. So you got to figure out what you want. When it's all said and done, and all the awards and all the clapping and all the trips and all that stuff's done, what do you want this business to do for you? What does it look like? So you get clear on what you want, that ideal life. What does your life look like? What does your marriage look like? What does the relationship with your kids look like? What do you want to be remembered for? What are you going to leave your mark for? You get clear on that. And you get clear, not just what you want and why that you want it, but you get clear on who you're becoming. That second version of you, that better version of you, that version of you that God meant to be. If you're, I was just this shy little girl from Montana that was not terrified to prospect, terrified to make a phone call, terrible in the field, sweaty, all kinds of nasty stuff. I didn't think anybody would listen to me. But I would take each action, each day, each decision in alignment with that person I was becoming. So you don't make decisions or habits based on how you feel. Do you understand? We're all going to have hard things. Anybody else have hard things? A bad day? You don't feel like making phone calls? Of course, all of us did. But champions do it anyway. We do it based on our commitments, our goals, not based on how we're feeling. So you figure out what you want, why you want it. You got to flame that. Once you light that fire and figure out what you want and why you want it, you got to flame that fire. Put vision boards, put up pictures, read it every day. Cash Rastan, years ago, you guys probably have heard the story, but we had told him to do this a lot of times. A lot of leaders did. But finally one day he's like, you know what, I'm going to do what Jamie said. I'm going to read it every morning. I'm going to read it every night. I'm going to read it out loud. I'm going to read it with passion until I can feel it. And it didn't matter what time he would get home. Sometimes from the BPMs it would be like 2 a.m., coming home from the office, and he would read that thing in his closet out loud, blasting like Eye of the Tiger or Eminem, Lose Yourself, and slamming his hand like, I'm going to be #1 great superstar in WV. And people in his apartment building thought he was abusing somebody. If people don't think you're crazy, you're probably not doing it right? But you have to flame that fire so that you have this burning desire that you want it so bad, so no matter what anybody tells you, you've planted your flag so deep, you will never quit. You got to get to the point where you in your mind, you can say, if I said, what would it take to make you quit? What would it take? What would have to happen for you to quit? Nothing. What about if your leader quits? Goes to another company and starts trying to steal your people? What if you have a giant chargeback? Right? What if your whole team quits on you? Say, listen, like, people are going to quit. People are going to come and go. People are going to cancel their policies. But enough people will come, enough people will stay, enough clients will stay, that all of your dreams can come true. So you just have to make a decision that I won't quit, no matter what. And when you can answer that question, nothing, oh, the magic happens. The magic happens. All right, then you got to go from becoming like just a dreamer, right, and a worker to becoming a leader. To becoming a leader, turning yourself into a leader, and then building other leaders. Let me see, I have some notes for you because I don't want to forget anything. So as far as becoming a leader, don't you think in this business the people that get paid the most are the leaders? Yeah. Okay, do you think Cash and Jaime Villalovos were like superstar leaders when we came in?
No.
We were kids. Cash was like DJing on the side to like make money, okay? So, but I'll tell you what, Cash has worked harder than anybody else in my team on becoming a leader. So, I'm gonna give you some notes. Turning yourself into a leader first, and then building others. So number one, we won't have to put numbers, just write as fast as you can. They're confident, but modest. Cash is a good example of that. He's not cocky, but is he confident? Yeah, authentic. You don't have to be a perfect leader. No one expects a perfect leader. No one wants a perfect leader. They want an honest leader. A leader's a listener. A leader is good at giving encouragement. Get good at praising people for every little thing. They sit right in the front row and take notes. You're a freaking superstar. I want more of you on my team. Every little thing that they're doing right, try to encourage that. Leaders are never satisfied. They're never satisfied. They're excited. They're fired up about where they've come so far, but they want more to be an example for their team. So they're never satisfied. They keep growing. As soon as you are satisfied, as soon as you're comfortable, okay, good, that's enough personal development for me. See, the thing is, we're human beings. Human beings have an unlimited just capacity for personal growth. People say, well, that's just the way I am. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, the good news is none of you are dogs. We're human beings, and we can continually grow, even into the next life. We're going to keep growing. Okay, so a leader doesn't blame, they learn. We're all going to make mistakes. Not going to blame our leaders, not going to blame our downline. We're just going to keep growing. Leaders make change, but they stand for something. You're either a victim of change or a catalyst of change. You got to keep growing. And leaders make more leaders. So you're constantly looking for leaders, looking for the hungry ones, looking for the next you, someone who wants it like you, and getting them in front of the right people. So you're going to separate yourself from the masses. It's awesome that you're here, but are you going to get to the smaller rooms? Are you going to get into the leadership rooms? Are you going to become the next rabbit on the team, the next superstar on the team? So you separate yourself from the masses. One of my good friends, John Maxwell, he calls it, get out of the people pile.
Oh.
There's a people pile. I can't even see your faces. They're all so blurry to me right now. Get out of that people pile. Separate yourself. Study the great ones. Study a champion's mindset. Commit to being big. Make the decision that this business is not just a business. It's not just making a living. It's something that you could do to make an incredible life and make a big difference. Be the one in your family that changed everything forever. So you got to commit to I'm going to be up on stage. The company, the world, they're going to know my story. Okay? And then continual self-development. Commitment to becoming forever. Commitment to becoming a better person. You guys know who Ed Milet is? Ed, one of my great friends, he said, He said, the sign of a good leader is they're growing closer to God and they're becoming a better person. Not just better at sales, not just better at communicating or speaking, they're becoming a better person. So, love people, work on that mental toughness, work on these things, work on being a servant. But here's the thing, there's a story, I love this story. There was a 18th century rabbi named Zuzha. Do you guys know who I'm talking about? Everybody heard of Zuzha before? No? Oh, new story. Gosh, I haven't told you yet. Yay. So, Zuzha was a 18th century rabbi that he was very known for being very humble, very caring, and like a very good leader, okay? And so near his death, when he was about to die, they said he was trembling, like he was scared. And so his followers, his disciples said, Zuzha, why do you tremble? Why do you tremble? Like you've lived a great life. What do you have to be scared of? You've lived such a wonderful life. You're such a great example. And he said, oh, I'm not scared when I get to heaven. I'm not scared that God's going to say, Zuzha, why were you not more like Moses? Why were you not like Moses? And he said, I'm not scared of that because I would just say, well, you didn't give me the gifts that you gave Moses. You didn't give me that, powerful heart and right courage. You didn't give me that, so that's okay. He said, well, he's like, I'm not scared if God says, Zuzha, why were you not more like Solomon? And he said, well, I would just say, well, you didn't give me the wisdom of Solomon. He said, what I'm scared about is I'm going to get there and he says, Zuzha, why were you not more like Zuzha? See, God gives us all individual talents, abilities that we're supposed to magnify, to use to help others, yes?
Mm-hmm.
And so we can't compare to anybody else, but I believe that there's two of you. There's the gal or the guy that is, and the one that's meant to be. And then he said, when I get there, did I become the person I'm meant to become? Did I settle? My least favorite word in the English language is settle.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly, you guys, mediocrity is going to be pulling on you. Everywhere you go, mediocrity is going to be pulling on you. Everyone on your team, same thing. You have to be the bearer of good news. You have to be the example. You think everybody out there that you talk to is like excited right now? What are they hearing? They're hearing negatives. Their social media feed, do you think it's pretty positive?
Mm-hmm.
News, very positive.
No.
You're their leader. You're the one person, and a lot of times you're the one person in their whole life that's positive, that's excited about where they're going. Okay, so you have to be so mentally tough and so disciplined to read that business plan every day. It's just like the hardest thing in the world for people to pick up that business plan and take the 5 minutes to read it. Why is that so hard?
Mm-hmm.
Why do we lack so much discipline? So all of you could have what Cash has. You all have unique talents and unique gifts to go out and change your life forever. But and every single one of you could be 7-figure earners here because we have an amazing system and you have great leadership. But most of you won't. Why? Not because of lack of talent or where you grew up or your market even. It's because of lack of discipline. Will you pick up that plan and read it? Will you keep yourself focused on where you're going? Most people won't do that. They won't take the time to invest what lights their fire, to figuring that out. They won't take the time to fan the flames. And so what they do is they just drift through life. This year looks a lot like last year. Not a lot of growth, not a lot of getting closer to that person you're meant to be. Because we focus on, again, mediocrity pulling at us all the time. So we focus on what? Where we're at. Man, I thought I'd be making more money by now. Oh, I thought I'd be further along. Oh, the stuff that's happening in the Middle East. Oh, the stuff that's happening over here. Oh, we're all focused on what's in front of us. Good or bad, whatever you think about, you bring about. right? So we have to invest that discipline, that time to get excited, get fired up. When Cash was reading that business plan, sometimes he would be sleeping there in the office. He wasn't making money yet. He wasn't the huge leader that he is today. He wasn't a 7-figure earner. He was barely paying his bills. But you have to keep yourself on fire. You have to be a big dreamer. You have to be a big crusader for the cause. You have to keep fanning your flame, so what? That you can give it to others. So that you can be that one person in their life, instead of all that's pulling them down, that can be pulling them up. If you join in the negatives, you gotta stay off the negatives. Write that in your notes really big, put lines under, stay off the negatives. Like if there's someone in your office that's like, man, traffic stopped today. Just be like, get away. Don't talk to me. Jamie said not to talk to negative people. I can't afford it. For a while, until you can get that mental toughness that Cash has, until you can get there, you gotta protect this so much that you're only feeding yourself positive stuff. Again, mediocrity in the form of family and friends and media and news, it's constantly trying to keep you exactly where you're at or worse. So when I was at your level, when I was just like kind of new in the business, I decided I was going to wage war against mediocrity. And I was just going to do the things that others weren't willing to do, so that I could have the things that others are not able to have. Does that make sense? So there was times I wanted just to like cry and suck my thumb and pull the covers over my head, of course. There's times that people quit on my team, or chargebacks happen, and it's okay. Is it normal that you can get a little tired, a little burnt out? Is that normal? Of course. You don't think that Cash has had, stressful things happen in the business or in his personal life? Nalise is a champion, but she's been through some stuff too. But again, all those champions have the hard times too, but we just do it anyways. If you feel tired, you feel burnt out, put in your notes, take a nap. Don't quit. Don't quit, take a nap. You feel like you're a little bit in a slump? Call your leaders. They care about you. They want you to win. See, if you go into a slump in this business, it could cost you a lot. It could cost you millions. Do you know that? It's true. You go into your little funk, or you're like, pity party or whatever. Just even for a couple weeks, you could have a guy like Cash Rastan or Chris Payne come into your meeting and you weren't there coaching properly, challenging the champion properly, and they're out. You guys know that you probably have had some Chris Paynes come into your business? So we gotta be on our game. We gotta keep ourselves on fire. We gotta keep ourselves focused. Now, there's balance. I'm like the balance queen or whatever they call me or whatever, happy and strong. It's because, again, I was clear on what I was building. Not just on the income I wanted, not just on the business, accolades that I wanted, but in every business plan, it was faith, family, fitness, wellness, lifestyle stuff, and my business and savings. So every night when I read my business plan, even though I was a maniac, running for my thing or whatever, right? All my goals, but every night I would read the plan of what the relationship I wanted to have with my daughter, and the goals that I had in my marriage, and for even my grandkids and my posterity. So every night I was rebalanced. But I planned all those family things in. Maybe Sunday was my family day, Friday night was my date night, those things. So that I wouldn't get too far off balance. But the rest of the time, all in. Do you understand? All in. I'd be in the office, and if I wasn't on an appointment, I was booking an appointment. I was willing to go nuts. Write in your notes, go freaking nuts. Go nuts. And it's about 18 months of go nuts. 18 months of like, your family, your friends are like, what? She's crazy. She's crazy. It's all it takes. You guys know, it's all it takes. It's about 18 months. I learned that from Ed. It's about 18 months of you are 100% all in. And you might tell me, well, Jamie, I've already been here 2 years. But you weren't focused for 18 months. You were up and down and in and out. And then you got that virus, what's it called? Excusitis.
Excusitis. The virus.
But it's 18 months of head down, pour it on, all in, first in the office, last to leave. Everyone on your team, you're the pace setter. Everyone on your team looks at you and says, oh my gosh, if I just hold on to her coattails, if I just stick around long enough with her, I'm gonna win, because I know, like, I've never seen someone so sold out about what they do than that gal right there, or that guy right there. 18 months. 18 months, tracks are laid. Your system's laid. The culture's laid. Then it's about 5 years of just building it. And you say, 5 years? Oh my gosh. I'm not saying you have to be cash or stock. 5 years, and you think, well, is that a big sacrifice? See, the other thing is not just know what you want and why you want it. What are you willing to give? What are you willing to sacrifice? There is no such thing as something for nothing. There is no such thing as success without paying a price. Now, I will tell you, the price for success is not too high. It's not your marriage. It's not your family. It's not your faith, and it's not your kids. In our business, it's faith, family, and then business. And I've never had to sacrifice anything. In fact, everything that the business does strengthens my family, strengthens my marriage. If you're not feeling it that way, you're doing it wrong. See, here's the thing, most people have a job, and everything has to revolve around that crappy job and that stupid boss. Where you live, how much you make, where you take vacations, when, if at all, you get to take vacations with your kids, all revolves around this. Here, it's your family is the center. And the business is just an extension of who you are and what you stand for, and it all builds and strengthens that. Does that make sense? But you still got to pay the price. I believe in paying the price up front and in full. 18 months, head down, pour it on, and then you look up and you don't even recognize your life. Like, holy crap. And I'm like really good at this thing. And people actually listen to me. And I just get big old checks, whether I'm working or not. And then you put your head back down, another little mad woman cycle. You do that for 5 years. Now, it's not that big of a price, because in that 5 years, guess what? They were taking me to Tahiti and Venice, Italy, not California. I lived on Venice Beach for a while. It was crazy. My upbringing was really crazy. But pay the price up front and in full. Decide up front what you want, how bad you want it, what are you willing to give? What are you willing to give? Are you willing to want it so bad that you're actually coachable? Are you willing to want it so bad and work so hard that you look stupid or maybe even fail in front of your friends and the people that told you you couldn't do it? Yeah. You can't steal second with your foot on first. You have to emotionally sell out. Give it all. Sean, my husband, was sleeping in his El Camino, that horrible car that would light on fire on the way to a field training appointment. It's crazy. He was sleeping in his car, and it was Christmas time, and all those people that were telling him, "You're so," his mom said, "I didn't raise someone to be so stupid. That company's taking advantage of you. They're a scam." She was his why. Her and his little sister were the reason that he was so fired up and working so hard and willing to sleep in his car. He could have slept in her house. He didn't want to do that. He was cutting out all negatives. It took 9 months to get paid back then. He was sleeping in his car, and at Christmas time, he had no money. He would come to a big event like this, and his system for eating was saying, like, "You gonna eat those fries? You gonna eat those leftovers?" But at Christmas time, he wrote a letter to his mom. And he said, "I know you don't understand this now, But I'm doing this for you. My why is for you and Haley to never have to, his mom worked 3 jobs growing up. She was a single mom. And my why is my grandma in heaven so that she can look down and say, oh, I'm so proud that he did this for our whole family for generations. Sometimes you can be living the nightmare, but chasing the dream and be happier than ever. But are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to do the things that no one else is willing to do? To be coachable, to show up, to be that rabbit, that flag carrier, that pace setter for your team, to make calls when you'd rather be watching TV. I didn't have a TV in my house that worked until after I was CEO. Now half of your team cash is like, that's just too much of a price. I just cut it out. I cut out anything that wasn't growing my faith, my family, or my business. You go nuts for 18 months. You don't have any time to waste. You don't have time to screw around. Do you understand? You don't have time to screw around. Cut out all negatives, mind sealed tightly, and go all in and pour it on. And I promise you, it'll be worth it. You'll start to see yourself win. The passion is the secret of this business, the passion. If you talk about our system, and Cash talks about the system a lot, yes? Yeah. Okay, the system is the vehicle that will take you to your biggest dreams, whatever your dreams are. I guarantee you, everyone in this room, your biggest dream that you can't have, someone in our company has already done it. The system is the vehicle. But a lot of you guys are sitting in Cash's team, even Cash's base shop, and it's like you're in the Ferrari, in the freaking driveway, looking around. And you're not on the road yet. So you don't have any gas in your tank. So that high octane fuel that you put in the tank of the vehicle, of the system, that high octane fuel is the passion. And passion, just so you know, it breaks down to 2 things. 50% dream, 50% crusade. The crusade is like what we do for families, you guys. When I was just like that young, barely licensed, not, a leader in this company yet, I remember we were struggling. Sean, my husband, was doing side jobs. Construction, moving furniture, ripping a roof off sometimes just so that we could pay our office rent. So that we could get this thing off the ground. And one time he was at Home Depot getting some supplies, and he was in the hot dog cart outside of Home Depot. It was at the hot dog cart line. And he was talking to one of the guys on the phone. He said, Jamie needs your outside brokerage account in your file. And the guy behind him said, are you in finance? He was in jeans and he was dirty, so he said, my wife is. And he booked me, the girl that looked like she was 12, to go see this guy. He made $400,000 a year. He lived in Agora Hills. And he was the sound mixer for Warner Brothers, like made all the Fast and the Furious movies. He made decent money. And Sean booked me to go talk to him. And I was so scared and so nervous. Why would he ever listen to me? And I went in there, and the guy had 3 mortgages. He had an emergency fund that was a a fixed, not indexed, fixed annuity that earned 4%. That was his emergency fund. With American Express, and to fund it, $500 a month on his American Express credit card. So he was paying 5% on his credit card to have an emergency fund that if he took out, he had not 59.5, he has a penalty. It was so stupid. I said, what about insurance? Oh yeah, I have a lot of that. He brings out 10 expired term policies that end up to like $150,000, and he was paying like $600 a month for them. Sometimes we go in and it's just like a little oil change. This was like a complete overhaul. And I remember when I left that family's house, he leaned up against the wall. He had 2 teenage kids. And he said, Jamie, I'm trusting you. This is my family. I'm trusting you. My life. And I remember leaving his home, and I drove to the office, and I was so happy. Mm-hmm. I was so happy that that I was able to change everything for him. We refinanced the first, second, and third, saved him $2,000 a month on the mortgage. He had debt, hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt that he'd had since he just got married. Since he first got married. That he would have never been out of debt, and I got him out of debt in 16 months. We got him over $1 million of life insurance for less money than those dumb expired term policies. We got a real emergency fund in place. He's now retired. His kids have gone to college because of us. That next week he had Sean come over and he made us a spaghetti dinner. He loved cooking. And he's like, thank you so much. But I remember that day that I came back to the office, and I was so excited from what I did for this little family, right? And Sean's like, do you know how much you got paid? I said, no idea. Just newly licensed. And he added it up. He said, you made $18,200. And I thought, what? Like, what kind of stupid company would pay me $18,000 for like an hour and a half of work? That blew my mind. That changed my vision. That changed everything of the possibilities of my whole life. I was like, that's insane. I'd have to work for 5 months at Bally's. 11 hours a day. Changed everything. The crusade has to be in your heart. That's 50% of the passion. The other part is the dream. The things I talked about. Figuring out really, really, really why you want it. What is this going to do for you? The people that you love. Maybe your grandma that's looking down. Who are your whys? Who are those people that you want to make proud? Who are you making those sacrifices for? Keep them in front of you all the time. I had my picture of my little sister Danica in my car before I walked into that house with Mike and Mary, because I didn't think I could do it. Why is this $400,000 50-year-old guy going to listen to me? But I looked at that picture of my sister Danica, thought about what she was doing back home, and said, I'm going to go in their house, and I'm going to do my best, and in some way I'm going to impact this family's life. In some way. Maybe he'll come into business with us, and he'll be a better person, a better father, talk to his kids with a little bit more encouragement and praise and recognition. Maybe he'll join the business and get licensed and change everything about every aspect of his life. Or maybe he'll just become a client that gets out of debt and finally freaking retires, and he wouldn't have ever been able to retire on that stupid pension that the movie studio gave him. And I would dream, and then I would build dreamers. And I would encourage and praise and recognize and add passion, the fuel, constantly to the machine. It's all worth it. That price that you're going to pay, it's all worth it. The lifestyle, if you commit to WFG, it's not just money. If you work here, you get. You're going to. I've been to Tahiti twice, Fiji twice, Spain, Portugal, Vienna, Australia. Where haven't we been? Any bucket list that you can imagine? Check. My dream board is more like a to-do list now. Guys, when I grew up, we didn't go on a vacation. Not ever. I remember twice maybe going camping, like in a tent in the dirt. These are some of our favorite places. That's a dream trip that I took my kids last year to Italy. And we went to the coast in Italy, and we rented a yacht, and my kids were jumping in the water in Portofino, and that car right there, Sean and I went to the company trip in Germany, in Vienna, and we rented a Ferrari and went 180 miles an hour on the Autobahn. You guys can dream bigger. I had an event and we interviewed people, what's your biggest dream? And they'd be like, go to Disneyland? Like, your dream sucks. Come on, let's think bigger. Look around, look what's possible. Right, look what's possible. And I hope that you'll practice dreaming. And my dad used to tell us when we go to events like this, he said, Jamie and Sean, don't let this weekend go by that you don't sit together with your sweetheart with like a legal pad on your lap and just practice dreaming. Most of us, our mindset is the product of how we were raised, the environment we were in, the people we are around, and our thinking is very small, just like mine when I came in. Thank God Ed said, practice dreaming. You gotta build it like a muscle, not just once a year when you do your business plan. Every day, every week, every month, at least every 6 months, redo your business plan. And think like this, like if I had a magic wand, and everything I touched turned to gold. If money was not an object, use your imagination. Albert Einstein said that the imagination is the preview of life's coming attractions. You can build your dream life. I get it. You can do it. I promise you can do it. But you gotta think bigger. Like, I love this business. It's not just about the money. It's not just about the trip. It's not even just about the freedom you have. It's your family. This is some of our Italy trip. This picture right here, that picture at the Pisa, that was on my dream board for 3 years before we did it. I looked at it every day. How often do you check your phone? Like every 6 minutes or something for a lot of you, right? Every day. That picture over there, Daisy and my kids, that's my favorite memory, I think, of us taking a cooking class with Guido in Italy. And we were grinding the basil to make pesto. Your dreams, no matter what they are, man, just make them come true here. You have the best system and you have the best leaders. Cash and Elise, both of you guys, I don't know how much I love you guys, how proud of you I am, the team that you built, the culture, the integrity of this group. You've built an amazing team. You deserve everything that you have and so much more, but you can have what he has. Dream trips, that Montana trip was a dream. It's $30,000 for a week per person to go that one that looks like nothing with the cowboy hats. That's an expensive trip. That was us at Stingray Island in the Grand Caymans with the kids, with the stingrays. The picture in the middle, that's my two sisters, Jessie and Danny. Because I wrote those 10 whys. I was young, I was single, I didn't know what my whys were. But I wrote my 10 whys and I didn't have kids at the time. I couldn't think of my whys. Travel, I don't know. But I got to number 8 and it was Jessie and Danica. And I wanted to show them it doesn't matter how you grow up. It doesn't matter the hands that we've been dealt. All that matters is what you want to make of your life. It doesn't matter where you've been. All that matters is where you want to go. Those two, that's the reason I have everything I have today. Figure those things out. Light your fire. We've done amazing things with our team. We stayed at the only 7-star resort in the world, the Burj Khalifa. With all my team, Coleman, like our leaders and stuff. And we rode camels in Dubai on the beach in like 300-degree heat. We've had all the dream houses and dream, trips and all the stuff. I love this business. I love that my kids get to grow up in this business. These are some of the kids on the team, on some of the trips. I love that my kids' heroes are guys like Cash. And Dana Lagatuda was Daisy's hero. I love that they get to be leaders, learn leadership, learn that it's okay to go out there and pay a price, and every day that you're making a difference in the lives of others, and it's tough. Someone asked me, I had a retreat this week, and they said, Jamie, your kids are so polite. Your boys are so amazing. They're so much leaders. How do you do that when you're so rich? I'm like, well, they're not rich. Wow. So we see these 10 acres. Austin's my landscaper. He earns it. If he wants to buy Chick-fil-A, he's earning it, right? But I love that they learn just so many, not just great values, but like these things that they're just not ever going to learn in school. People say, do you regret, that you paid that price or that you weren't there for certain things? Like, did I make every single baseball game? No. But I was there because I control my time and I control my life. I was there at all the important stuff, and they got to become, like, even at their age, the leaders that they are today. So, build your dream. All the stuff, the lifestyle that WFG offers, it's like a smorgasbord. It's like a buffet of just amazing lifestyle. And I see a lot of people come in the room, but they pack their lunch. They're sitting over in the corner watching Cash and myself and all these people just enjoy all of these things. But you got to throw your heart into it. I promise there's a lot of good charities and causes out there, but in business, there's no greater cause than what we do. It's worth your time, it's worth your effort. Throw your heart into it, and the best reward of all of it that we're going to offer is the person that you become, that second version of you. And there'll be adversity. To go from here to here, that second version, it's not like this, right, Cash? It's like every adversity, no matter how hard, it's for your good. It's a gift from God to help you become stronger and better so that you can go and deliver for others, so that when your team is going through it, you can help them through it, and that you can go make a difference. This is some of our stuff. We've been able to give over 7 figures to some of our favorite charities. I love it.